I live over here, and today's topic, I just want to talk about one thing, a societal issue again. What's the point of platforming? What's the point of society platforming unmarried women over the age of 25? Like, why do we need them? Why would we want them in society? If you look into the alternatives, let's say somebody comes up with a question. He says, what's the point of platforming women who are not married over the age of 25, making them public figures or role models of society? There is no point of that. There is only more harm. For example, if a lady was to respond to this question, saying that she could be in service, she could be working, right? And you have to understand, right? When I speak based on reality. So I take into consideration other factors, yeah, that are proven by statistics. I live in the real world. No, I don't live in an idealistic, hypothetical world. So a woman could respond to me and say that she could be working in service as a cashier. She could be working as she could be working as an accountant, a doctor. Doctor, sure, definitely, in certain situations. She could be working as anything else, right? There won't be an issue with that. I mean, like, she would be benefiting society in that way by working, being a career woman. But the issue is we can always find a better replacement, a man who can do the job. Because on average, men do that better than women. Secondly, if a man works as a cashier, etc., with that salary, based on statistics, he's more likely to start a family, which society needs, since society is composed of families, right? And secondly, thank you. Secondly, my bad. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right? Because I'm not sure. All right. Secondly, they might say that if a woman works, right, she's more likely not to start a family, because in nature, women are more inclined to individualism. They are more individualistic naturally. So that's the whole point of women working. If they work, right, on average, let's say an unmarried woman over the age of 25, right, if they would be working, that would only harm society further. Because firstly, what does she do with the salary? She's less likely to start a family based on statistics. That's a reality, right? While a man with that salary, he's more likely to start a family. That's one. And number two, her pool of mates, of selection of mates, right? Her selection pool of mates starts to decrease because she earns more, and therefore there are less suitors on her level. And women, of course, they are hypergamous, right? So that's the second disadvantage of them working. Of course, with the exception of nurses, teachers, we're not talking about that, remember. We're talking about usual work. And third is that we need them as mothers. So them having a career would be an obstacle for society to start families. Because if women are not going to be mothers, how are we going to get more families? Remember, society is composed of families. Am I right? So that's the response if a woman would claim or a man would claim that there is benefit of women working on average in society on a general level. Of course, besides nurses, doctors, because we need women in that field. But on average, we don't need women working. We need mothers, right, as a society, in order for us to prolong, in order for us to survive as a people, in order for us to continue. Understood? Hey there, hi. I'm looking at the chats, saying hi to everyone, right? That is the whole point, right? You also have other things to look at, right? When women they work, they will have to adopt more non-feminine values which would be required in order to build a good family, a functional one. Because in a household you need a man and a woman, you need a father and a mother, you need a husband and a wife, right? So you need both qualities. You need the masculine qualities and the feminine qualities. This is why, like, if you look into the law, my apologies for the music because I'm in a cafe, but if you look into sacred law, the Sharia, you will find that these qualities, feminine qualities, are actually given consideration. Like, for example, in child custody, you find that the mother is given precedence over the father when it comes to child custody, and the grandmother, which is the mother of the mother, the maternal grandmother, is even given precedence over the father. Why? Is it because of qaraba? Is it because of proximity? Is it because of closeness and lineage? No, because the father is definitely closer. Yet she's still given precedence. Why? Because of femininity. Because the quality of femininity is very important, right? She is more patient with the child, more merciful, etc. And that's why she's given precedence. You get what I'm saying? So we need those qualities in society. We cannot function properly without them. We cannot progress. We cannot further ourselves as a people. We start to die out, reducing births, the divorces skyrocket. We need that quality. And a woman going out and working, she's more likely to adopt more masculine qualities. She's more likely to abandon more feminine qualities. You're going to have two decision makers in the house, right? And you're likely going to have more conflict on average. Of course, there are exceptions here and there. I'm not talking about exceptions. I'm speaking about the average. I'm looking at society as a whole, you know? I'm not dealing with individual houses. That's not my problem over here. My problem is society as a whole, on average. We need women to be women, and we need men to be men. Understood? And if we can't have that, again, there's gonna be conflict. Understood? Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. That's my thoughts on the issue of women working, right? And the issue of platforming women who are not married, right, as role models over the age of 25. Because if children see, children do. Am I right? If kids see, kids do. So when a girl sees a woman over the age of 25 platform, that that person, that influencer, or whatever famous person she is going to influence that child. And there are going to be numerous children. even if she is, let's say, vouching for traditional values, right? That's why they say practice what you preach. So if she's not practicing motherhood, even if she preaches it, we don't really need her. She's a problem. Do you understand? Because she's going to influence them by her own actions. Every kid is going to look at her, and every kid's going to think that they're the exception and that they don't have to practice motherhood, but they can just preach it. No, that's not how society works. Somebody's got to take the responsibilities, right? We need mothers. We don't need preachers of motherhood amongst women on a public level. We need mothers. Of course, if they are mothers and they preach, that's wonderful. That's good. If they're platformed as mothers, we need that, sure. But unmarried women, 25, not practicing what they preach, that's just hypocrisy. And that's my take, right? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's about it.